Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. With me as always is Morgan.
Hey, it's me again.
There was a lot of news this week, BTS related, so let's talk about the Grammys, which was on Sunday.
Right.
And in the weeks prior, there was a lot of discussion about, is BTS going to go or are they going to perform?
It was a mystery for a long time.
Yeah, they didn't say anything for a while.
They did not say anything.
But we did know that, I don't know, we knew that they went to the U.S. that week and they were just going to be there to do stuff. So we're like, well, if you're going to be there, that must mean you're going to go to the Grammys. So I think
pretty big tip off, I think.
People logically
it's not yeah. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out.
And but we only found out for sure like 5 days before. I remember it was like in the week before. It was like the Wednesday before or something.
Remember. Yep.
And we found out they were going to perform Old Town Road with Lil Nas X. And other than that, people thought, oh, maybe they're gonna perform on their own as well, because why would they go all that way just to do that?
True. I would not blame people for thinking such a thing.
Yeah, but it turns out that is all that they were there for.
It turns out that is all they were there for. Are we gonna talk about that? What is your feeling about that?
We saw in the red carpet interviews that RM was saying that basically they couldn't do their own stage because they weren't nominated, and I don't know if that's like
Is that correct? Is that a rule of the Grammys?
I don't know if that's a rule or if that's just something that the Grammy people said
recently.
But I could see how that might be true because, okay, the voting, that's all done. That's all in the past.
Rules can be broken.
You can't do anything about it.
I don't know. Anyway.
But it's like the people voting is different than the people that create the Grammy show, and maybe their hands are tied.
True. Just to rehash my opinion from earlier, we've talked about this obviously before. There's so many Grammy categories and a bunch of BS, spoken word, foreign language, this and that. Mm-hmm. Believe me, there's so many more categories than you saw in the broadcast. If you even bothered to watch a broadcast, which you probably didn't, because who actually watches the broadcast, right? Most people just watch the YouTube. Anyway, there's so many categories that they could have included BTS in just one of these, BS categories. When I say BS, I just mean obscure, foreign language, this and that. There's so many categories. They easily could have just inserted them into one of them. Mm-hmm. And then they would have been quote unquote nominee.
Right.
I don't know if that would satisfy their requirements to be on stage or whatever, but hey, you know what? Your rules are not, let's put it this way. It's not a presidential election. It's just the Grammys. Mm-hmm. Right? You can bend your rules to just create the best show, right? And oh, by the way, for anybody who's listened to the past 2 episodes, I apologize. I was sick for the past 2 episodes. Really, really sick. I believe I got the coronavirus. People will tell me that I didn't, but I think I got the coronavirus, but I survived it.
The symptoms all matched up, right?
Well, I mean, the symptoms are just flu symptoms. But yeah, I seriously believe I got the coronavirus. I always thought that China would get me at some point. Some people think that the coronavirus is like China let a bioweapon get out from. We don't want to get into that, but some people.
There's a conspiracy.
Have you heard this conspiracy?
Yeah.
You've heard the conspiracy that they think that
it's like somebody made it in a lab.
China made it in a lab, and they just sort of like lost control of it, right?
Right.
And that's what happened.
Maybe with the testing, it got out too much.
I was so sick. I was literally sick from January. No. Like December 29 till just recently. I was very, very sick. Now, maybe it was just regular flu. That's possible. Sure. I never get my flu shot because I'm not in the age range of needing a flu shot. And I don't get it because I'm not selfish. Just so you know, if you're a healthy person in like a normal age range, you should be okay. You don't need a flu shot. But old and young people should get a flu shot because old and young people can die from the flu. Mm-hmm. Hey, 8,000 people died from the flu in America last year. That's a ton of people.
Right.
And anyway, the point is, I didn't get a flu shot, and I was sick for 3 weeks, and it was really tough on me because I rarely get sick. I think it's been like 4 years since I've gotten sick. By the way, so yeah, it was very, 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 very hard on me. I'm not saying it was the coronavirus, but yeah, maybe it was.
Remember when swine flu was growing around? I'm pretty sure we got that.
Oh my God, yes, I'm pretty sure I got swine flu. I got it in Las Vegas. I was heading home from Las Vegas, okay? And there was a person who was just so sick. I was like, wow, you're really sick, dude. He was coughing everywhere. And then I came home, and then a week later, I was really sick. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure I got swine flu. But I'm alive, listeners. I'm okay.
Yeah, the podcast
continues. Yes. I apologize for the past 2 weeks because you probably heard me being like coughy and sick, and it's gross. I understand. It's unpleasant. I thought I was gonna die. You know, I thought, is this when China is gonna get me? Damn, I always knew China was gonna get me. I always knew. But no, I'm alive.
Not today.
They have not gotten me. They have not gotten me. Not yet, at least. I'm here. I'm with you. I'm doing K-pop podcasts, so you can't get rid of me. Something else is going to have to kill me.
Yeah, China is not going to stop this podcast.
China is not going to be the one that kills me. It has to be something else.
So in the couple of days before the Grammys, BTS was rehearsing their Black Swan dance, it looks like, and they had posted pictures on Instagram, and so people were wondering, it's like, oh, they can't just be posting pictures of, their rehearsal for James Corden show that they're going to do after that. This has to be something.
Has to be for the Grammys.
For the Grammys.
Right?
Like,
has to be for the Grammys.
Why would they post these pictures and get us thinking that?
True.
And
that's correct. It turned out to be correct, at least.
Yeah, it really was just for that.
Yeah.
And then there was a picture that Ariana Grande ran into them or whatever. I don't know if it's the same building or whatever, but she was like, "Oh, look who's here!" And then we all took a picture, and
yeah, makes sense.
Got a lot of social media attention, so that caused a lot of discussion. But yeah, it turns out that it was really just for James Corden rehearsal, and
the picture that she posted were for James Corden
rehearsal?
No,
they're rehearsals in the studio. The dance studio.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like, why would they be in the same building? Because she's rehearsing for the Grammys, they're rehearsing something.
Correct.
But I mean, who knows where that was? And she may have not even run into them. It's just like she purposely showed up because they wanted to do a photo op or something.
Maybe she probably just did run into them. Oh, I don't even want to speculate.
I don't know. LA's big. It's like, is there just one studio and all the celebrities are in?
Same one? So were they rehearsing for James Corden when she ran into them? Is that what you're saying? Or the Grammys?
I believe it was James Corden because they were barefoot and stuff.
It's hard to say. She wasn't rehearsing for James Corden then. I don't know why she would. Yeah.
But here's what I think. It's because they were able to use that space. Maybe it's meant for Grammy performers,
right? Because
the executive producer of James Corden is the guy who next year is going to produce the Grammys. So maybe it's like,
wow, good knowledge.
Let's get a favor. We could use this nice studio space to rehearse.
Right.
So yeah, it's probably just connections. It's just they just happen to be in the same building.
I don't think it was any kind of it wasn't Ariana Grande trying to be next level or anything, and she wasn't trying to do anything about it. She probably just ran into them and posted something.
I don't think she was being thirsty. I think she genuinely ran into them and actually likes them. So I think it was legit.
No, calm down. She's not being thirsty. Ariana Grande is still probably still a little at least equal to or bigger name than BTS. So I don't think she was just being thirsty or whatever. She just ran into some fellow pop superstars and posted something. Mm-hmm. I think that's all. Mm-hmm. Right? No ulterior motives, no anything. Just, hey, they're equals and they're all in the same area and social media. Yeah, that's all I think that happened.
Yeah, I can believe that because she actually posted a picture, whereas Justin Bieber won't even retweet anything of theirs, even though
Are
they're
we back to
supposedly
Justin Bieber?
friends.
Oh my God, are we just back to Justin Bieber? Well,
They can't get a retweet from
people
him.
know my opinion about Justin Bieber. We won't go back to that. But I think that, yeah, Ariana Grande, totally natural. She just sort of tweeted. She ran into some peers doing their thing, and no big deal. No big deal whatsoever. No ulterior motives. Just, hey, they're practicing. They're probably practicing for James Corden at that point. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because the Old Town Road thing, they didn't have to practice for that at all.
Probably took
that's
like,
it was.
took like 5 minutes to practice for that.
Let's be honest. That was a bullshit performance. Anybody could have done that. Like what they asked of them, they were just like, hey, can you sit on the stage and just sort of like rap behind Lil Nas X
Yeah.
for 1 minute?
It was such a waste. Like they're capable of so much more. And it was like less than a minute and they were sitting much of the time.
I found it offensive in fact.
Like even though they
I think you can say yes, it's good that they were on the Grammys. I agree with you. But they were underutilized on the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
They could have had a show-stopping performance of their own. What kind of show-stopping performance? Pick any of them. Any BTS performance, right? Any BTS they already have the choreography memorized. They could have done any of them. And it doesn't matter if it's new or old or whatever. It'd be new for an American audience probably, right? They could have done any of those performances at the Grammys and really impress people and amaze people. Instead, they were just kind of they were backup singers to Lil Nas X for a minute. That's lame. That's underutilizing them.
Well, I think even if they were only doing the Old Town Road part, they could have done more with that.
Oh, really? Like what?
More dancing or more like interacting with the crowd. Like when they just perform songs that are at the concert and that don't have choreography, like just them like wandering around is like more energy.
Yeah, it was so lame. I appreciate that they were involved in the Grammys at all.
I think the problem is that the nominating process is not legit. There's people that can push their way in that can like get influence and be nominated without really having all the votes. But I've heard that you can't buy a Grammy win, but you can buy a nomination. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of what I'm hearing. Is like, you know, there's people with enough influence. And I think it's like the groups in their same categories like took up all the spots, and since BTS doesn't bribe anybody, it's like they got kind of pushed
because Big
out.
Hit doesn't know that you have to do that sort of stuff,
Right?
or they refuse to pay.
Well, what I think is the issue is that the nominations happen and that's done, and then you know the producers in charge of running the Grammys are totally different people. It's probably just a couple of people, and they know, oh, we really need BTS here, but our hands are tied, so we're kind of screwed. But let's at least involve them in Old Town Road.
Yeah, maybe it's possible, but yeah, you guys fucked up. You guys who are running the Grammys, you fucked up.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year you learn your lesson, but even next year, who knows? There might BTS. Some of them might be on enlistment. They might not even be that active. Who knows? You're behind.
That's true.
Let's just put it that way. You're behind.
They might have an
You're
issue.
You're so behind. This was the year to have them in
This
all
was the year
their
to
glory.
take advantage, and it was kind of a weak year in my opinion too with music. They
How's it not a weak year? Like the big winner was Billie Eilish. Is it 17-year-old girl or
she's
something?
new. She has one album. It's obviously not a strong year for music if a totally new person could win everything.
Correct. So yeah, that's my opinion of the Grammys. They should have included more BTS. I feel like the amount that they included them was a desperate correction by people who didn't know better. They're catching up.
Yeah.
They were like, should we have included BTS? Wait. What's the biggest thing in music this year? Can somebody tell us right now? And then somebody said, BTS is the biggest thing in music, sir.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, they're not part of our show at all. How can we get them to be part of our show? And they said, well, they did somewhat collaboration with Lil Nas X. And I said, well, let's have them do a collaboration with Lil Nas X.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you're dumb. You're dumb. They were bigger than that.
Like, I don't even know if it was necessary to have Lil Nas X sing his song and then all the people that he did a remix with. Like, that seems like a lot.
The guy did a remix with 50 people. Okay? He did a remix with 50 different people. So for BTS to only be one of those just really dilutes their impact on music this year. Let's be real. Their impact on music this year, is it limited to a Lil Nas X collaboration? No. Their impact on music this year is greater than, I would argue, Billie Eilish, Lizzo, all the fucking winners who won whatever Grammys, right? Who won? Lizzo, Billie Eilish, all the winners in 20 years. Trust me, when you think about this year, what will you remember? You will remember. Trust me, I'm willing to bet that you will remember BTS. You will say this was the year that K-pop and BTS really, really made its mark. Will you remember Billie Eilish? Her song isn't even that memorable. I'm sorry, it's not that memorable to me. Is it a bad song? No, I'm not saying it's a bad song. It's a good song. But is it as groundbreaking as K-pop coming onto the scene and really making its mark in the world? No, it is not. It is not that important. And nothing Lizzo does is at all important. And most of it is, quite frankly, disgusting. But whatever. That's a different thing. But no.
The thing with Billie Eilish, I think it's her first album, so we don't know if she's that kind of artist that has, like, you know, a lot of hits and a lot of longevity. Like, she could be, like, remember Lorde? She had, like, that couple of songs, and then she kind of, like, went away. Right. It was very similar, similar vibe, I think.
Right.
But she kind of, like, burned out already.
Yeah, we don't hear anything about Lorde, correct?
Yeah.
Even though she's only 21 years old right now. She's not old.
Right.
Lorde is not an old person. Anyway, my point is, BTS is much more important in the pop scene, in the global music scene, than any of these artists. That's my opinion. And you might say that importance in the music scene is not, that's not the reason we give out Grammys, buddy. Right? Why do you give out Grammys? Mm-hmm. If your argument is, it's just like, oh, it's the sophistication of the music. Pop albums, by definition, they're not important or anything, right? It's not like a classical music or this, and that. It's just, what's popular. But it matters. And in that sense, BTS does matter. It does matter. Worldwide, it does matter. So why are you giving it to Billie Eilish? That's my question.
Here's what I think. It's not so much like they're trying to reward Billie Eilish for her amazing work or anything. It's they're trying to, like, not have other people win. So it's like that's why they didn't nominate.
What do you mean not have other people win?
They didn't want Taylor Swift to win because obviously there's people against her now.
Who's against her?
Well, she wasn't nominated for hardly anything. So there's people in the industry that are, anti-Taylor Swift now. Okay.
But what about BTS then?
Well, I think that's just ignorance. They just, like, aren't aware of, like, the Grammy voters, like those 20,000 people or whatever it is.
Okay.
You know, how many of them know about K-pop and know about BTS? I mean, they should know, but they just don't, I guess. Okay, continue. And so Taylor Swift wasn't nominated. That might have been intentionally because of all the issues going on. And you know how there's that lawsuit against the Grammys, too, about how they're not running things.
No, what lawsuit?
I don't know a lot about it, but there's some kind of lawsuit about how they run things, and there's people that have too much influence that get
probably
their artists nominated.
Yeah, probably.
And we know, like, earlier that week they were showing, like, you know how when they're preparing for the Grammy show, they show the seats, and it's like, who's sitting in this seat? And then they have their photo, and then the artist and where they're sitting. And they were showing early on, it was like Taylor Swift is sitting next to BTS, and then in front of BTS was going to be Jay-Z and Beyonce. So they were showing.
Really?
They were, yeah, like
none of this stuff happened though.
that didn't happen. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, that would have been pretty cool.
Well, who showed all that?
You know, it's like E or those shows where they have behind the scenes stuff of.
Did Jay-Z and Beyonce even go to the Grammys?
I don't even think they went.
So like American royalty didn't even attend the Grammys, is what you're saying?
They didn't. I don't know why they didn't.
Because if Taylor Swift didn't go and Jay-Z and Beyonce didn't go, basically American royalty did not go.
Now, I don't know why Jay-Z and Beyonce didn't go, because as far as I know, they weren't disgruntled about nominations or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift was mad and didn't go for that reason.
She probably was mad. Because she was like, hey, I released something this year. Why am I not winning?
But shouldn't she have gone anyway just to like promote? Like
no.
Okay.
No, she doesn't have to do that. No. If I were Taylor Swift, I would have my people call ahead of time and say, am I winning this? And they would say, we don't know. And I would say, fuck you. I'm not going. That's literally what I would do. I would just say, I'm not going.
But that's why I wonder, why was her name on the picture? Like at some point she was going. So why would they have a picture of her in a seating arrangement sitting next to BTS if she never said she was going?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they didn't have the right to say that. I'm not sure.
Oh, how does it work for Grammys? Do you like RSVP or what is it? Does your assistant say, "Oh, they're going" or "They're not going"?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know.
My point is, why did they show that picture if she was never going to go? She must have wanted to go at some point and changed her mind. But I wanted to see that is why I care. It's like I wanted to see Taylor Swift sitting next to BTS because those are the two artists I like right now. And
well,
like that's it.
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm absolutely not sure.
I mean, and I didn't care whether or not Beyonce and Jay-Z go or not, but that was just kind of cool that they're big stars in front of them.
True.
And then, so after it was determined Taylor Swift was not going, there was another photo after that where it showed Ellen was sitting next to BTS, which I don't think we ever even saw during the broadcast, so I don't know if she actually sat there or not. But yeah, that's what the new seating arrangement
Ellen
was.
DeGeneres?
Yes, Ellen.
Okay.
Who was nominated for a comedy album.
I mean,
you
there's
see
so
how
many...
anybody could get nominated for whatever.
And
I think their process is flawed because BTS has no problem getting nominated at the other award shows, so clearly the Grammy process is incorrect. It's if they're going to be nominated for Billboard Awards and AMAs and all these other ones, it's like, well, obviously those people are aware of what's going on and they're getting the right nominations.
It's whatever, but I will always feel really, really upset about that.
I do think they're working behind the scenes to create relationships with all the important producers. Like I said earlier, they are performing Black Swan on the James Corden show for the first time, and I had wondered why did they pick that show to be the comeback for America, you know? Because it's kind of a weird choice. Like, that's not the first place.
It's not a weird choice. It's a big show. Really?
It's a big show, but it's not. It's like you could have picked Jimmy Fallon or you could have picked SNL again or something.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's like his show is on later than the Tonight Show, right? So
yeah.
Technically, it's like got lower ratings.
So what is your logic behind that?
They picked the James Corden show because the producer of the James Corden show is going to produce the Grammys next year.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
So obviously they want to, reward him, and then they'll get rewarded next year with whatever's going on with the Grammys. They'll probably get, more consideration.
Okay. Hopefully, yeah. I didn't know that particular detail. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I was like, well, I don't get why they picked James Corden's show. Because
it's a good show. I mean,
yeah, it's a good show, but it wouldn't be the first thing I would expect if they're gonna do their first performance of Black Swan in America. But it does make sense when you think about
not just America, the world.
Yeah, the world.
That was a worldwide debut of Black Swan, correct? It was a good debut too. But I get what you're saying.
And the good thing about them going to the James Corden show is that he's a legit BTS fan. Like, he for sure is actually a fan of them.
Do we know that for a fact? How do we know that James Corden is a BTS fan?
I've seen clips of him from previous shows, and he's talked about like who his biases are, and it's like he knows them and he knows their music.
Who is James Corden's bias?
He has the same ones as you have.
Me? Really? well, let's repeat them.
He said James Corden said he likes Jungkook and V.
That's correct. Those are my biases. Did he say that really?
Yeah.
What was his reasoning though?
Oh, I don't know the reason behind it. I just know he said those two names. And then John Cena's bias, or he doesn't call it bias, but he said his favorite is J-Hope.
John Cena?
Yeah.
Huh, we know that John Cena likes them.
Yeah. He's a legit BTS army as well.
That's right.
So that's why I think it was good that they were on his show, because
That's right.
he's an actual fan. It's not like when you're on Ellen or something and it's like she just is like, oh, I was just reading off the cards or whatever.
Ellen's fake.
Yeah, she's fake.
I don't believe anything Ellen says. But James Corden and John Cena, I believe them.
Yeah, they're legit. Also, Jimmy Fallon. That's why I thought maybe Jimmy Fallon would get.
Wait. James Corden, his biases are Jungkook and V. Mm-hmm. I can understand if you like members other than these two. Like, I know that your stan is Jimin.
Right.
But I don't understand Jimin.
Same as Jimmy Fallon, where Jimin stands.
Well, Jimmy Fallon just likes them because their names are Jim. They just have similar names. That's the only reason why you like them. But I understand that your stan is Jimin. But yeah, V and Jungkook, those are my stans. Mm-hmm. Just based on what they bring to the table, you know. It's not based on anything really. Who cares? You can like whoever you like. It doesn't even matter.
They were there to perform Black Swan, and it looked like a really cool set. I don't know if they normally go through that much trouble.
It was an awesome set. Let's just put it this way. It was way better than you would get from most American artists. Correct?
Yeah, I never see other artists on a late night show that have like special lighting and a set and then people like actually dancing. Like, it's always just I don't know, whatever, singer singing and then nothing special. But it was like a full performance.
K-pop always brings it to the max degree.
Mm-hmm. You could tell the mood they were trying to set too. Yeah. It was like moonlight. It was like in a forest.
K-pop, they always bring it. Mm-hmm. Compared to like the effort that is brought by Western artists, it's not even close.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
If the people running the Grammys would look at like Mama or MMA, they would be like, "Oh, we're doing nothing over here at the Grammys." Like how complicated and everything it is.
Yeah,
they would think,
absolutely,
wow, we're a joke.
100%.
If they,
that's not even up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Right. And just like look at the performance that you get from BTS on James Corden versus the performance you get from anybody else on James Corden. It's not even close. Mm-hmm. It's not even close. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, K-pop standards of performance is just so much higher.
Yeah, and it's all about hard work because they were working on that for weeks and weeks.
Yes.
Getting all of that dance correct. And I know they're not all at the same level of dancer probably, but they all looked very similar. They looked very unified.
Yes, and it's very impressive because they were all doing a modern dance sort of thing.
Yeah,
right?
That's difficult.
Right.
That's different than choreographed like hip hop moves, like what they would normally be doing. Like, it's harder than that because you have to have a certain flow. It
was very, very difficult, and I'm so impressed.
They were all doing it, and it was good to hear them sing live for the first time, Black Swan, because you could kind of tell the individual voices more than the recording. Like, it's kind of hard to tell because they blended everybody together in the mixing or whatever. But when they were singing live, like, you could definitely tell who was who. Plus, you could see which person was singing.
Right.
So that helped. But yeah, that's even more impressive that they could do all of their singing while doing all the modern dance. So they performed Black Swan. And
so they performed Black Swan.
They had their interview, and then at the very end, I don't know if Ashton Kutcher was a guest. I didn't watch any segment that he was
a
in.
guest.
Okay, but
Ashton Kutcher was a guest.
Bother watching his
and they
part.
played a hide and seek game.
Yes, they played a game where all of BTS would hide in the studio, and then James Corden or Ashton Kutcher had to go find all of them.
Correct.
Whoever found the most won. So it was a really funny segment. It was almost like a Run BTS episode in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It was funny. Yeah, like Jimin was found like quickly. He just hid in the most obvious place.
Because he sucked at this game. Right.
He's like, he picked the closest place to hide.
Correct, yeah.
And then RM was behind a curtain. Like, that wasn't very far either.
They sucked at it.
It wasn't that hidden.
Yeah.
And then I like how Suga was in the control room, and then he had like a headset on and everything. He was just trying to blend in with all the other people.
Right, but he was found.
And then let's see, V was also in a production room, and
right,
not that hidden, I don't think. He was just like standing there, so he.
But Ashton Kutcher found. You're gonna continue.
Yeah. Then we saw that Ashton Kutcher just whipped open the photo booth, and Jin was in there.
Jin was in there
taking pictures of himself.
Right.
And then everybody thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, of course, Jin taking pictures of himself is in the photo booth. And then we saw later, he posted on Twitter the photos he took. He put it on a spot on the wall right next to Tom Cruise. Like, there's all these celebrity photos.
Right.
I thought that was so funny.
But he found them.
He definitely belongs on that wall. Like, all of those, like,
well, why does he belong on the wall? Just because he's good looking?
Yeah. Right next to Tom Cruise.
I agree.
I think that makes sense.
He is good looking, so he deserves to be there. But
I don't know why
Ashton Kutcher found them.
Why did he have to carry him, though? I don't know if that was necessary.
Listen. Okay, so this is a controversy, right? Well, this is the controversy, correct?
I don't know if is it a controversy?
Yeah, it was. Whether he carried him or not, it is a controversy. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Okay, you thought it was funny, but some people thought it was offensive. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking for other people.
Why? Because he might have dropped him, or
just for cultural reasons. Like,
okay.
You shouldn't have picked up another man or whatever, right? They thought it was maybe controversial.
Yeah. Well, when James Corden would find people, he would walk them to their seat. He didn't carry anybody.
Right. So the fact that Ashton Kutcher carried Jin, for some people it felt a little controversial. Like, you shouldn't have touched him or whatever. But here's the thing, okay? Just like, here's my opinion of it. Just like when Korean celebrities do something that is not necessarily considered politically correct or kosher to American audiences. I feel like this is one of those instances where something happens and it's not considered necessarily politically correct or kosher to Korean audiences, right? I mean, because all he did was he just picked up Jin and then just like carried him over. It was all in good fun, right? Mm-hmm. And people thought maybe it was embarrassing or it was this or it was that. But in America, in our cultural context, which, to be fair, is where this is occurring, right? Our context. You are in a talk show in America, right? So, in our context, it's just not a big deal.
Oh, well, I didn't even hear there was a.
There was no You didn't hear there was a backlash? I heard that.
I heard backlash about the girl who tried to grab Jin's hand who was in the front row. It's like, why are you trying to?
What? A girl that tried to grab his hand? What?
Yeah, like as Ashton Kutcher was running by with Jin on his back, some girl tried to grab Jin's hand.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Why are you? It's like, it's enough. You're already there, enjoying this show. Why are you trying to touch them?
I only heard that there was a backlash for Ashton Kutcher, like picking Jin up.
So from the Korean netizens.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
okay.
because culturally it was like, why are you picking a guy up or whatever. It's like, I can understand that from your culture. But just like I defend your culture from, our cancel culture, okay, I will also defend our culture from whatever stuff that you've got going on, right? Does that make sense? Like, listen, we don't really think anything of it. Ashton Kutcher picked the guy up. It was just all in good fun.
It was just a game. It was just trying to like run
Yeah.
around and be funny
Yeah.
and play this game.
Exactly. Exactly. He didn't mean anything by it. He wasn't trying to say, oh, hey, I'm trying to emasculate Asian males. Oh my God. Ashton Kutcher is not trying to emasculate anybody. Are you seriously? Are you serious? Ashton Kutcher is not trying to do that. It is just a game. Calm down.
Found by Ashton Kutcher.
And then he grabbed him and he lifted him.
And then he brought him back. And
Yep.
then James Corden found J-Hope, who was, I don't know exactly where. It looked like he was at the top of a ladder or was in the ceiling or something. I don't know. He was somewhere up high.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you even found him. But maybe they only had like a few minutes. And it's like, okay, guys,
Right.
be more obvious
right,
now.
Right.
And then the very last one found was Jungkook, who was there all along, like pretending to be a camera.
Right.
Which was funny because, like, if you look back on the few minutes of the video, like you could see him just around, and they run right by him like multiple times.
Right.
And I guess he just blends in because he's wearing black,
Right.
and he's like has his face covered. But I thought that was really funny.
Right. Hey, it is what it is, right?
It's all in fun.
So
Thought that was a very successful appearance on a talk show.
it definitely was.
I
definitely
laughed
definitely was.
multiple times, and it was a good performance.
Hey, V, his English is so much better. Doesn't it seem like V's English is so much better?
That's true. He talked more in this
Yeah,
interview. He had
yeah.
some phrases.
I feel like V's English is a lot better. Am I right? The next time they're gonna do their thing, it's like almost feels like V is gonna be their English speaker. Is he younger than RM?
Yeah.
Well, maybe he'll have to take over that.
No, but in our plan, they're all going to go at the same time, though.
True, but who knows if they follow our plan, right? Who knows? So
It seemed like J-Hope's English was really good too. Like he was saying like sentences, and he seemed to have like the second most to say after RM. Okay, so this week also we saw the tour dates for the Map of the Soul 7 tour were released, and luckily California has 4 dates, so we're all good. We're very blessed. No, I'm glad there's a lot because then people can spread out. Maybe they won't all try to get tickets to the same exact thing that we're going to try to go to.
I purchased my, what is it called? The special group.
The Army membership?
The Army membership. I purchased that. I did.
Oh, I thought you were on the fence of whether or not it was worth it.
Obviously, I know I have to. I have to purchase that just for a chance to purchase tickets.
From our experience, it's better to get into a pre-sale, any kind of pre-sale.
Yes, from our experience, it is better to get into any kind of pre-sale than not. But this is a very strict pre-sale because even if you are in the quote-unquote army, whatever, you're not guaranteed, right? And even if you get into it, you can only buy 2 tickets, which before, like most, if you got into it, you could buy 6, right? Which I would buy, in those situations, I would buy 6 and sell the other 4. But in this situation, you can only buy 2. And you're not even guaranteed. So we don't even know yet. So I had to purchase.
But you got to be in it to get the chance.
You have to be in the BTS.
You got to be in it to win.
Yeah, you have to be in it. You have to be in it.
So there's that pre-sale with the Army membership, which costs $30 plus the completely ridiculous shipping fee.
And I tried to avoid that shipping fee, but it sounds like you can't avoid it.
I couldn't find anyone who was able to.
So basically, you have to purchase your BTS shipping and all that. Yeah, which we're gonna do.
Hopefully you'll get the code, and that'll be like the lucky code that gets an early.
Oh my God! If we
an
don't
early
get that
time.
code, I'll be so angry. I'll be so angry because basically, I'll still have to buy these tickets just at a premium from whatever scalpers on StubHub, right?
Well, there's also the Ticketmaster pre-sale, which is the next day. But then by then, maybe
Oh my
a lot of good
God.
seats might be gone. So
Yeah, that's not gonna be anything.
it's not as good.
Let's be real.
But
That's
I mean,
not gonna be anything.
at least that's better than general. But
No, that's not gonna be better than no.
there's
that's
some
not gonna
people
be-
that aren't paying that much attention, and they're gonna forget and try to buy tickets later. So we're at least if you're in that, you're ahead of those people.
I'm gonna buy my BTS fan club, whatever. I'm gonna get my thing, and I'm gonna try to get my tickets.
You're gonna go with the odds.
Yes, as are you, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But no matter what, I guarantee you, we will see them in Santa Clara. If we have to, we just have to pay the scalpers. Then that's what we'll do. That's what we will do.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Exactly.
It's like, why do I have a job if I'm not gonna try to spend money on things that I want to go to? It's like, if that's what it takes, then
Is
I
that
mean,
why you have a job? That's not why you have a job.
well, it's like I'm past the point of like paying basic bills and stuff. Now it's like, okay, what
Right.
bonus things do I want?
I understand what you're saying. Well,
But obviously, it's ideal to not overspend on BTS
Right.
tickets. Let's not like, go
True.
crazy with it.
but if we have to, then obviously you're saying we will, which we did last time. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. But hopefully we will get in on the ground floor.
It looks like they're not going to that many cities
Does it?
in America.
Does
Well,
it?
If I'm looking at the list, it's Santa Clara, LA, Dallas, Orlando, Atlanta,
Oh,
New
okay,
Jersey,
okay.
DC,
Oh.
Toronto, and then Chicago, and then there aren't any other American cities on there.
Hopefully.
So it's like 8 cities
Hopefully.
that are in America, and all the rest are like foreign ones. And then there's also on June 13 and 14 on the tour schedule, it has a question mark. So we don't know what city or what that is, but it's something that's on the schedule.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Probably Seoul, right?
No, Seoul was the first place.
Oh, okay.
This
okay.
is happening like after Chicago, but before Japan. So that could be anywhere. But since that's
Could be New York. Could be
Yeah.
whatever.
Seems like it could be like a televised thing. I think maybe that's why they won't say the city that it's in.
Right.
And that's their anniversary date, so it might be something like extra special.
Right. Oh, you never know. So it could. It is what it is. You know.
It'll be interesting to see.
That'll be awesome. Right.
Tour dates were released. After that, there was an iHeartRadio interview. They were all talking about the going on tour, and then RM was talking about, oh, there's going to be some places we haven't been to before.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, yeah, we're gonna go to Seattle and Boston, and it's like,
Is that true though?
I don't think so, because
Oh,
those aren't any of the cities on the tour. He just said that.
she just lied. That's okay.
And that was funny because everybody got excited from those 2 cities. They were like,
Oh.
oh, you're coming to our city. This is great. And then everybody got excited. And then I
And
remember
then they didn't.
I was on Twitter like 1 or 2 hours later, Big Hit tweeted that the North American schedule hasn't changed. Please
Right.
check the same
Right,
schedule.
right.
So either what happened was RM just said the totally wrong thing and was mistaken, or there's some kind of secret dates that are not announced yet.
He just said the wrong thing.
that are coming
Yeah.
later.
He just said the wrong thing.
I mean, I think it was a mistake, but then he kind of has a history of spoiling things ahead of time. So
Yeah.
that seems like they will go to those 2 places at some point.
You know.
Well,
Well. What is
unconfirmed so
it?
far.
Boston and
Boston and Seattle.
it kind of feels like they should go to those places.
Seems like it.
At some point.
Those places
Right.
both have big stadiums.
Yeah.
and
So, I do think that hopefully for you folks that are in those areas, they will come.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Be optimistic.
Now for us in the Bay Area, we don't have to hope. They will be there.
They have a lot of concert dates in Japan. They must be like as big
Oh,
there
Japan is
as Korea.
massive for them. Japan is
Yeah.
massive for them. Yeah, it's massive for them.
Seems like all the K-pop groups, they try to go to Japan like almost as often as they are Korea.
Japan is a big market for them. Well, think about it. They have like Japanese versions of their songs, right?
Oh, that's true.
Think about Twice. They have like whole Japanese albums.
That seems like a lot of trouble. You got to learn Japanese, and yeah, they just had a Japanese album. That's what
Okay.
they had. Lights, and then that had
Oh, okay.
wait, was that on that? I don't know, but they had a Japanese version of Boy with Love and
Oh, okay.
and Idol and some other songs. So we talked about last week about Connect BTS and the importance of that. And now this week is the third and fourth art exhibits have been announced. So the third one is by an Argentinian artist, Tomas Saraceno, and this is happening in Buenos Aires.
Tomas Saraceno, okay.
Mm-hmm. And his art is he made a giant hot air balloon that's made out of recycled plastic bags, and this hot air balloon is going to go, I don't know, a long ways, like the Argentina to Korea or something like that.
Okay.
Or he thinks it will. I don't understand how it's going to go all that way.
All right.
But I think the point of that project is like environmentalism. And it's like, oh, this doesn't use many fossil fuels. I don't think so. I mean, hot air. Well, I guess you need to heat the air, so that uses some.
Oh my God. So his point is it doesn't use many. Okay.
I think it's more the point of it's made of recycled materials.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to travel a long ways.
All right. Congratulations, guy.
Yeah, I think that's the purpose of his art
okay.
project, is to show an environmental consciousness.
I don't care.
Very
about
trendy
his,
thing these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it will.
I guess it'll use a lot less than
Okay.
something else that would travel there faster, like an airplane.
Yeah, let's end there. I mean, I don't care about this guy. This guy sucks.
At least he's trying to do something instead of just lecture people. Like, I guess he's trying to show that this can be done. Like, oh, the hot air balloon can go all this way. I wouldn't want to be in it because I feel like it's
though,
not,
nobody's gonna travel in.
It's not gonna make it. No, but it's about the idea.
Okay.
That's at least better than celebrities who are like, "Hey guys, don't drive cars and stuff," and then they're in a private jet every other day.
Okay.
You know, at least this guy is trying to have an idea and
he's somewhat
use
principled.
Yeah. At least it's taking an action instead of like, oh, I'm going to lecture everybody and then do the opposite thing in my real life. And then the fourth Connect BTS was a woman.
Oh, this was another BTS art project,
Yes.
correct?
But to me, it's talking about like pollution.
Okay.
But I bet you anybody goes into there, they're going to have a different interpretation. This is just a room
Absolutely.
with a colored fog.
Where was this art installation produced?
Seoul. But it looks like it's another one of those art exhibits that you're involved in. It's a very like modern thing. It's like you're immersed in it. The description says she explores the sensory experience of reality, suggesting that all perception is fragile at best. By investigating the properties of space, light, radiant color.
Okay, bullshit. Bullshit.
I think this is about China and all the pollution
this is about
they produce.
China? Really? What?
That's my interpretation. But
Yeah.
I think she did something that's very vague, and so people can interpret whatever they want. You know, it's like whatever you think a colored, foggy room represents is what it represents. I think she's just
Totally fair.
making it look like pollution, but like in like nice, bright colors.
She's the one who left it open-ended. Hey.
Yeah, it could mean anything. By this description, it kind of sounds like she is talking about like holodecks or something, like things that are, oh, you don't know what's light, you don't know what's real.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she meant that. That would be cool if it really was
Who knows
holograms,
what
but
the f she
it's
meant.
really not.
We have to ask her. Her answer will be polluted.
She would just say a bunch of like artist talk, and it's like, oh, it gives you a sense of this and that, and
it is. Wow.
Yeah, because one of these is a room and it's like all green fog, but it looks like kind of a war scenario. Like, gases have been dropped.
But it's post-apocalyptic. There you go.
But I think I like this one better than the hot air balloon.
Oh, of course.
I don't know if anyone's gonna get in that hot air balloon or if it's gonna make it. We'll see. They're gonna videotape that. I mean,
Maybe
somebody has to direct it. Like, how's it gonna go in whatever direction?
Somebody's gonna do it.
But I think it's really funny the different art that BTS chose for this. It's like very different things.
Hot air balloons are not that dangerous.
They're not that dangerous. It's just they're slow, so I think that's why they're not really used for transportation. But it's weird how in the turn of the century they thought that was going to be a big thing, like hot air balloon travel and like steampunk and all that. They thought it was going to be something.
They did. The Hindenburg and all that. I don't know if the Hindenburg is part of steampunk, but they did think that it was going to be a bigger part of maybe transportation and society than it ultimately ended up being. It just didn't, for whatever reason. But we never really, it never became a big thing.
Yeah, I think it just fell out of favor because then people started inventing other kinds of ways to travel, and like planes got a bit more popular.
Right. Planes got more popular, and even though at the outset they weren't really safe, plane travel was not safe at all.
No.
But it was just sold to people as a safe thing.
Yeah, so that's great that Connect BTS is getting us thinking about several
ideas
here.
Connect BTS is getting us thinking about it.
Because of BTS, we're thinking about the history of air travel.
Yes.
And how China is evil. And
wait, is that what we're thinking? We're thinking about how China is evil?
Yeah,
really?
Because I think the fourth one was about China.
Well, I do think that they should get us thinking about how China is evil, for sure.
I mean, they are evil, so that's just
yes, they are.
My interpretation of this.
China is evil.
One art exhibit.
China is evil.
And they're spreading coronavirus as well.
I had the coronavirus.
In addition
to
everything else they're doing.
I survived. Thank you. I was this close to dying from the coronavirus.
But you bounced back because of your
the coronavirus.
Healthy American genes.
Yes, my healthy American genes. I just totally powered through it. Yep, that's what happened.
Kick coronavirus's ass.
Yeah, that's right. And now I'm immune to it. So
do you think it's
any of you get it?
Do you think it's like the flu? Like if you had it, then you're probably not going to get it. For at least another year.
Well, no, not at least another year. Forever. I'm immune to it forever. That's how it works.
Hopefully, if it doesn't like mutate or anything. Thank you to our guest Morgan. You can find BTS Happy Hour on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. New episodes weekly. Please comment, review, or rate in the podcast platform you're using. Follow us on Twitter @OurBTS. Until next time, this has been the BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.